David Weiss is a partner at McMillanDoolittle, joining us in studio. So we've got this backdrop of a pretty nice number this morning that seems to tell a story of the consumer being pretty healthy here. What do you guys see in your business?
Absolutely. We think retail is continuing its health. We're still talking about good consumer confidence. We're still talking about good employment numbers. I was in Target yesterday for obvious reasons, and you can still see the for hire help wanted signs up there offering $13 an hour. That's a collar county of Chicago. That's a pretty good minimum wage.
And they've got a deal day to really go after Amazon. Is there like a race to the bottom for margins in retail and by transition prices as well?
You know, I wouldn't get too carried away. I think that Target and Walmart in particular this year have been very strategic in how they've set up their defense. It's almost been like on an offense. They've really focused on the online sales. They've stayed away from stores. You could have painted a scenario where they had pulled both of those together, giving really strong deals in stores. If you had done that, you probably would have seen margin erosion at that point.
Yeah.
Will there still be a hit on pricing? Yes, because they are offering deals. I would say that, again, getting on that offense, they've got the messaging that says we're not exclusive, deals for everybody. Both Walmart and Target had that message. I also think one of the big messages that you saw, again, particularly with Target, was this deal, you can come and get it in store. You can do the pickup in store. We'll do free shipping to store. And for each one of those opportunities, that's a potential add-on. You're getting traffic into the store. You're getting other higher margin, hopefully, transactions going on at the same time.
How big in your mind is that very immediate one day or same day delivery? Because judging by the work that Amazon's put into establishing that single day delivery, it seems in their mind it's a huge deal. Is that the case?
I would say so. And it's almost a huger deal for Amazon than it is for Walmart and Target. They're establishing a moat by saying you can come and pick it up in store that same day, or you can have the acquisition of shipped and be able to deliver it to your home. Instacart can take your groceries to your home all in the same day. That is something that Amazon actually struggles with, and that's one of the things that is an opportunity for the other competitors at this point.
One of the things that Amazon's doing as well now is like Prime Video Day.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like the old QVC that you used to see on cable.
Yep.
Is there a further kind of disruptive potential for taking something? I mean, are they going to use their video capacity to do like a live shopping network?
I think it's a fantastic move on their part. I was really excited. That was one of the things that I thought Amazon did really well for this Prime Day. That you're right. There is the traditional QVC model, but there was also the influencer model and some of the specific ads.
It's kind of combining the two.
Combining the two. So they'll be testing a little bit of A/B, figuring out which one works best for each category. But if you think about the experience on Amazon, usually it's a very difficult one to actually go shopping for as opposed to buying. A video is really highlighting a product and actually making the shopping a little bit easier and giving a different idea. So I'm excited for that on Amazon's behalf.
When you talk with retailers, is it possible to figure out what the addressable e-commerce market is going to be? We hear all the time, Amazon's got so much growth potential because e-commerce is only 10 or 11% of retail sales. Well, what should it be? What should that number be?
I'm still convinced that's almost a meaningless number.
Okay.
It was pretty important, I'd say a decade ago, just to see how consumer adoption was going. It's still important if you can get back into percentage by category to understand which categories are the consumers becoming more receptive to online shopping. But, today, the consumer journey starts mostly on digital devices, and the transaction doesn't necessarily end with making that purchase on a digital device. So you want the journey, you want the visitors. The metric that retailers should really be looking for is how many people are coming to my site or my mobile devices and then continuing through the purchase cycle, as opposed to this is the percent that's actually completed from an e-commerce transaction. So
are we getting at a point where it's plateaued, or is there still, because I would imagine figuring out what that market is probably going to be a big deal for someone who owns a share of Walmart or owns a share of Target. And we saw the sensitivity last year where Walmart printed one e-commerce growth rate that was a little bit below expectations. Stock sold off at the beginning of 2018.
Yep.
Those types of metrics, I imagine, can only continue until there's a saturation at some point. How close are we to that?
Nowhere close.
Okay.
And I think you're talking about Walmart. We should see them growing on the e-commerce side of the business at a faster rate than Amazon, for obvious reasons. They're still at 4.5%, 5% of their business. I'll give you some big numbers. We look at retail now as integrated in some ways, physical plus digital. And when we look at the US Census Bureau numbers and really start going into the categories, they're the consumers that expect to go to the store for a certain category. They're consumers that expect to shop online for a certain category. At this point, integrated, we want everything. We want to shop online, we want to shop from a digital device, we want it delivered anywhere. We're looking at about 45% of retail sales within that market. We think that's going to be up to 85% within 5 years.
Wow.
So there's your upside in terms of converting sales from a store-based sale to something that needs to go through a digital channel.
One other point on Amazon here. Obviously, the Whole Foods acquisition a few years back was a big deal. In your mind, how is that going? Are they fully utilizing that? Obviously, the Amazon delivery on the Prime side is important. I know you can go in and swipe your Whole Foods thing and get a discount when you're at the store if you're a Prime member. But has it been fully realized, the potential of this deal?
I think there's a question mark whether it was the right deal or not still. Yes, does that consumer line up with the Prime consumer? The stats say that it does to a better degree than any of the other grocery chains that are out there. But if Amazon needed to learn about grocery and operations, Whole Foods probably wasn't the best market for it. And it probably also wasn't an opportunity for them to gain share with other types of consumers, because they were targeted on a consumer that they already had. They were targeted on a retailer that wasn't known for being the best operator within grocery.
One other thing here, just to kind of end on the macro note that we began with, obviously the retail sales this morning, but there's also an actual e-commerce print, but it doesn't seem like anybody looks at this thing. Why not?
Because nobody really trusts it.
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge. A few years ago, there was a publication done by MIT Sloan that said we're getting conflicting messages from the Census Bureau on what this metric actually means. And I think that there's a hangover that says, in the self-reporting that the different companies are doing, are they really attributing the sales in the correct way? And is it being defined in the correct way? And is it being defined consistently, even within the Census Bureau? So they normally do a great job. I just think that this is one of those areas where no one has confidence in the number.
Yeah.